going on, guys? It's about that time again where we review the upcoming patch for retail World of Warcraft. Now, yes, there's an absolute abundance of new stuff come out for the war within. However, we need to take a quick pause on that because Season 4 is going to drop within the next few days. So I want to take this opportunity to go through the most important, in my opinion, updates coming in Season 4 that we know so far. Now, some of these posts have come out very, very recently. Shout out to the Wowhead people. They get these updates pretty fast. Now, I would go over to the WoW forums and read them on there. However, they don't really set them out as well as like Wowhead does. So this is typically why I end up on Wowhead, just so you guys are aware. However, let's jump straight into this. So, for those of you that don't know, when WoW Season 4 drops, which is confirmed, I believe, the last season of Dragonflight, let me know in the comment section below if I'm wrong on that one, there is going to be kind of the standard pre-patch type stuff. So if you played Shadowlands at the end of Season 4, what they did is they rotated the raids for the first few weeks with an affix, and that affix will kind of change the raid. It was buffed up to be the item level that we would be, and it made it slightly difficult. Now, what they brought out in Dragonflight is Awakened. Now, at the moment, Awakened just kind of says Awakened, and that's literally all it says. Now, we don't know much about Awakened, what it's going to do, how it's going to affect the raid. However, it looks pretty gnarly with what they're doing. So we know that the Awakened raids every 2 weeks during Dragonflight Season 4, one of the 3 Dragonflight raids will become Awakened Vault of the Encantus, Beerus, and the Shadow Crucible, or Amadrazil, the Dream's Hope. Enemies within Awakened raids are stronger and drop upgraded loot. Like, this literally is all we know about Awakened. I mean, what are we awakening apart from buffing the raid? That, in my opinion, is the biggest downfall at the moment. It'd be cool if, like, Awakened, if you guys remember when they entered the new affixes and, like, when you killed an enemy, it spawned back. Something like that would make raids absolutely gnarly. But they kind of just said it awakens, and I'm guessing by that what they mean is it just buffs the mobs. But anyway, so week 1 and 2 we get Vault of the Encanters. Week 3 and 4 we get Abyssal, the Shadow Crucible. Week 5 and 6 we get Amadrazil, and week 7 everything's available all the time, and you can go ahead and farm Awakened to your heart's content. Now, with that being said, all 3 raids will also drop the new tier tokens to exchange for the new appearances and set bonuses in combination with the player votes. Now, this is something new that they've done where we're allowed to decide what bonuses we're going to get for what specs. That is something for a different video. If you want me to go over all of them, let me know and we will do it. Earning 1 antique bronze bullion a week by defeating the awakened bosses, with the cap rising by 1 each week. Note that if you miss a week, you'll be able to catch up to the current maximum. Kind of works a bit like PvP. If you've never done PvP before, when the season starts, you can get the currency and then it kind of caps every single week and the cap increases. You can then just quickly grab that on ult, which is quite nice. You will need the for Jigglesworth Sir mount for 3 billion, so that would be 3 weeks worth of killing bosses. Now, they say that it's capped by rising by 1 each week, so whether or not we start with 1, and if that's the case, like, that would be kind of annoying. But if you get 1 per boss and it's a cap of 1, does that mean we could literally just queue for LFR, kill the first boss, get 1 billion, and that is the end? I mean, that's a little bit weird. Completing all 3 Awakened Dragonflight raids in normal difficulty, you get the new dynamic flying mount and the title Awakened Hero, and that's, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, actually. I like the way that they've done this. So If you complete everything in normal, we get the mount. If you complete everything in heroic above, you get the awakened hero. Those who complete the awakened raids in mythical difficulty are awarded with path portals to all 3 raids. I mean, on like the difficulty between heroic and mythic, we know jumps quite significantly just to get portals. I mean, is that even worth the effort? That's a little bit sus. I think that they should rework this, in my opinion. But anyways, we can't complain. They are bringing back a bit of the older content. Mythic Plus returns to all 8 Dragonflight dungeons. I don't know why it says returns, because we've never had all the Dragonflight dungeons in one season. For a finely rewarding progressive curve for Heroic, Mythic, and Mythic Plus. So, that being said, the rewards dedicated defenders can obtain the new Keystone Master mount, and once they've completed the Keystone Master Season 4 achievement is attained, and the title the Draconic after obtaining Dragonflight Keystone Conqueror Season 4 when you reach Mythic Plus rating 1500 or higher, and the Draconic Hero can be earned from the achievement Draconic Hero Dragonflight Floor when reaching a mythic rating of the top 0.1% of players in your region. So that's kind of like your plus 21s as it stands right now. However, we're going to get into that in a minute. PvP Season 4, PvP ranking resets, new gears, mounts, titles, and more, rewards, and the vicious thingy, the vicious saddle basically, rated arenas and battlegrounds, and the Draconic Drake. The Draconic Gladiator title to earn the Draconic Gladiator Season 4 achievement, and the legend is 0.1 of the solo shuffle ladder. Hold on, let's pause a minute. Draconic Legend title can be earned after attaining Draconic Legend Dragonflight Season 4 when ending the season in the top 0.1% of solo shuffle. So they are clearly trying to make an emphasis on solo shuffle for the PvP community. This could be a bit of a game changer. I mean, solo shuffle, unless you're a healer, the queue times are minimum 15 minutes. So it's quite nice that they've done this and that the achievement is going to be based on your solo shuffle. I'm assuming you're still going to have some type of a title for 3s and 2s, like we always have, but I like the fact that they are focusing on solo shuffle. So, dungeon changes. Now, this is something that people over the community have said is a good thing. Some people have said it's a bad thing. And I kind of sit on the fence. For a casual player, I can understand why it sounds overwhelming. For a more, so like you have casual in WoW, and then you have like casual advanced in WoW, and then you have like the I want to be a pro in the game type player. So yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with this one, I have to say. Now, one of the things that is pretty cool is so normal, the dungeon, the difficulty is unchanged. Heroic, the tuning and rewards of this difficulty are increased to be equal to the baseline Mythic 0 dungeon in the current system. Mythic difficulty changes and mechanics will not be present in this difficulty. This remains a queuable experience. So they've basically increased the tuning of Heroic to a Mythic 0, but they haven't added the Mythic abilities. Okay, so that's kind of a nice little offset in my opinion, because that was something that people were querying, whether you're going to queue into Heroic and then you're going to be battling with like a Mythic style dungeon. Then Mythic 0, the tuning and rewards of this difficulty are increased to the equal of a plus 10 dungeon with affixes in the current system. There is no timers, affixes, or limitations on changing specializations or talents whilst in this dungeon. The goal is to create a mega dungeon-like difficulty for this experience. This difficulty should present a meaningful challenge and provide okay, so basically what they're trying to do is make Mythic 0 not an absolute wash. So you actually are going to be forced into some level of Heroic, I guess, and then we're going to be able to do Mythic 0. And then Mythic Plus, the Mythic Plus system will have rewards up to level 10 with +2 starting from what would regularly be a +11 in the current system. A +5 should be as hard as a +15, and a +10 should be as hard as a +20 in the current Mythic Plus system. The fixes would slot in at +2, +5, and +10. +2 is your 45 to Tyrannic, +5 is your Entangling, Incorporeal, etc., and +10 is Bursting, Bolstering, etc. That is a nice change. I have to say, when you are pugging Mythic Plus and you get the second affix and it's like bolstering or bursting or something, it is an absolute pain in a pug to be dealing with that. That's quite nice that they're making like the +10s, which is technically a +20, the ones that are going to have the bursting and bolstering, because by then you would assume the people that you're playing with understand the mechanics already. Dungeon rating should be equivalent, I can't speak tonight, to what they represent in the current system. There should be a smaller range of keystone levels to find groups for, and more meaningful progression between each level. That is a nice change as well. At the beginning of Season 4, all keystones will be reset to level 2 regardless of level. This is done due to the difficulty rectifying for Mythic and Mythic Plus. I mean, that would have to be done. I mean, if you had like a +34 key, reference to the +33 yesterday, by the way, congrats, then that would be absolutely absurd. You would just get slapped in the face. It's important to note that the basic structure of dungeon rewards is not changing significantly, so what you would have earned for completing a Mythic 0 will now be earnable in the heroic difficulty instead. Crest and Flightstone rewards are changing to match the same difficulty with only some minor adjustments. Flightstones earned from earnings for any given Mythic Plus match the equally challenging Mythic Plus with previous seasons. This means that Mythic Plus 2 in Season 4 would give the same amount of Flightstones as a Mythic Plus 12 in Season 3 currently does. Okay, that's quite nice. So basically what they've done is they've done a squish. A bit like a stat squish, right? So instead of having Mythic Plus being so ballooned and being able to do like +15s, +20s, +30s, you're now like your average Joe, in quotation marks, is going to be completing a +10, essentially. And then the big boys are going to be like +15s, +20s, if we can even get that far. I kind of like that. Northrend Cup on April 30th through to May 14th saw through Northrend. Challenged 12 races across Northrend in normal, advanced, and reserve. 12 races and reverse. Okay, nice. Healers are being absolutely slapped. Resto all healing reduced by 5%. Mistweaver all healing reduced by 13%. Disc Atonement transfers 35% of damage was 40%, and Atonement healing increased by 70% outside of raids was 50%. That's kind of like a nice change in a way. They've nerfed your atonement transfer, but they've significantly buffed the atonement healing. So you kind of, your damage, like you're going to pump more damage, but you're also going to pump more healing, I guess. Resto Shaman, all healing it done reduced by 5%. Dungeons and raids, looking for raids in combat resurrection spells in looking for raid difficulty. Now use the same shared charges, same as other raid difficulties. Group in looking for raid difficulties now start combat with 6 in combat resurrection charges and gain the charge every 90 to 150 seconds. Okay, that's quite nice. Abyssal, the Echo, Baltic Heart now targets 4 mythic players instead of 5. Razageth, I've never managed to pronounce that name. They've kind of changed a little bit. So they've reduced the pushback strength by 10%. Lightning, Devastation, cast time reduced to 4 seconds. Oh, increased to 4 seconds. What's 3 seconds? Flame Shield reduced by 23%. Shattering Shroud, Healing Absorb reduced by 20%. They've kind of just nerfed all the raids and buffed them, which again is quite nice. They've increased the Mythic Plus timers. If you played it on PTR, you will see that it's slightly different. And we're not going to go through all of these because I have got a separate video on them coming out. But overall, some really pog changes. The main cusp of this video was to more look at kind of what they're doing to Mythic Plus and the raiding scene and the PvP scene. I really like this solo shuffle change that they've done here. This is really going to force people into solo shuffle. But yeah, so moving on from that, they have increased, as we know they always do, they have increased the mythic drops. So this bird here that you currently get from Mythic is now a guaranteed drop when killing Mythic Fyrak. This one always will drop from Fyrak. The legendary axe has an increased chance on Mythic Fyrak to drop. Island Drake guaranteed drop on Mythic Sarkareth. The legendary fist weapon increases the chance of dropping, and the renowned proto-dragon drops from Rezageth, and a mythic transmog sets from all 3 raids, which is Og. Then we've also got a little bit of a change. So the Darkheart PTR. So with this one here, so they have changed some of the UI on the Darkheart PTR, so several changes have been made to improve the experience of finding groups in a permanent group finder on pre-mode. And it says Mythic Plus, but I kind of think they mean like all the groups. Advanced filters will now only appear for max level characters. Filters options will now save between sessions, which is lovely, by the way. Language filters will no longer appear for characters in North American realms. Wait, what? That's odd. Declined applications will now save between refreshes. That's quite nice, I have to say, because it is the biggest annoyance when you continuously accidentally apply for the same group and you just continuously get declined over and over again. But they've already checked you out, man. You're not getting in there. If you've been declined once, just assume you're going to get declined every time. Solo Shuffle scoreboards will now show the results of the match, victory, draw, or defeat in the title. That's a nice little visual change, I guess. And when previewing an assembly or arsenal, the dressing room will now show a list of items included in the bundle, which item can be viewed independently by clicking its name in the list. That is a nice change. I cannot tell you how many times you've gone to the PvP vendor, for example, you clicked on something that you want to buy and you don't actually know what items you're going to get, so you can't independently buy them. That is a nice little change. I like that. They've also buffed a bunch of the trinkets. So we've also got the Broodkeeper's Promise. This was one of the older raids. Now scales with the item level 50% faster. Item level 528 now restores 3,309 per second, was 1,100. And the Cataclysmic Signet brand can now proc from procs. I mean, that is pretty OP, I have to say. So yeah, that is kind of everything. The most important, in my opinion, facts to know about Season 4. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. And I have just realized that my webcam has not worked for God knows how long in this video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed staring at my face with my hands. But make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.